Kamala Harris, our vice president, she has thoughts on our culture.
Well, I think culture is a reflection of our moment and our time, right? And present culture is the way we express how we're feeling about the moment. And we should always find times to express how we feel about the moment that is a reflection of joy, because it comes in the morning. We have to find ways to also express the way we feel about the moment in terms of just having language and a connection to how people are experiencing life. And I think about it in that way too.
Culture is the norms, rituals, and behaviors of a given people. That's the answer she was looking for. It's ninth grade English class when you haven't read the book and you're in the honors class, but maybe you don't belong in the honors class and you haven't done the work anyway. You say, well, culture, where do I begin? Culture is an expression of our moment, and culture is how we react to the expression of the moment, and it's the moment, and it's joy in the morning, and I think we pretty much. Yeah, but do you have an answer to what that is? No, there's something really profound in Kamala's circular and meaningless description of culture here, which is that our culture presently is circular and meaningless. So a keen insight about culture was given to us by the sociologist René Girard, who pointed out that culture is mimetic, that we, human beings, develop our personalities, our behaviors, our language, our thoughts, our desires even, by imitating what we see from other people. And so a culture that values honor is going to, let's say a monarchy traditionally. That's a culture that places a high value on honor. That culture is going to increase in honor and in the desire for honor because we're all going to be imitating each other. Republics traditionally are understood as cultures that value virtue. And so they're going to look different than monarchies. They're going to look different than aristocracies. And that's going to spread too because we're going to imitate one another. The reason that you want the nice Rolex watch is not because you know anything about horology or timekeeping or Swiss arts and crafts. It's because people that you admire and people who you would like to be more like want the Rolex watch. That's how we come to even desire these sorts of luxury goods. That would be one of the artifacts that defines a culture, right? And so all of that to say, our present culture doesn't really value much of anything at all. We don't value honor. We don't believe in honor anymore. We don't value virtue. We don't believe in virtue anymore. We do value stuff to some degree, though actually decreasingly so. If you see surveys about millennials and Zoomers especially, we don't really value cars anymore. We don't really value having a house anymore. We don't really value high fashion anymore. We don't even value stuff. We value nothing other than the satisfaction of our most animalistic desires. And so human culture starts to go away. Anything resembling high culture disappears. We don't have beautiful architecture. We don't have beautiful art. We don't have beautiful music. We don't have beautiful customs or rituals anymore. It's all just kind of base level, satisfy your sexual appetites, satisfy your physical appetites, not even with high cuisine, with kind of cheap nothing cuisine where we're just eating slop basically from fast food places or from Impossible Burgers or from Soylent milkshakes or whatever else you're going to have. So that's an anti-culture perfectly expressed by Kamala Harris in this circular rambling because we don't have any sense of what we value anymore because we don't have any grounding in reality anymore. And as our society moves further away from grounded, tangible reality into the metaverse, into virtual digital social media, into the abstraction from the self, of the self from the body, saying that our true selves have nothing to do with our bodies anymore. As that happens, the culture is going to collapse even further. And it's become almost cliche now to observe that we today could not build medieval cathedrals. We couldn't do it. We don't even know how they were built. Notre Dame in Paris, the roof burns down. We don't know how to fix it. We're just going to have to replace it with something uglier. We can't do it anymore. That culture has been lost. The apotheosis of that culture is the incoherent rambling that you're getting from now the Vice President of the United States. Right now, go to puretalk.com/Knowles. You know a company is looking out for you when they actually upgrade your service and don't charge you for it. This is great news for new and current Pure Talk customers. Pure Talk just added data to every plan and includes a mobile hotspot with no price increase whatsoever. If you've considered Pure Talk before, but you have not made the switch, take a look. Again, for just $20 a month, you will get unlimited talk, text, and now 50% more 5G data, plus their new mobile hotspot. This is why I love Pure Talk. They're veteran-owned and the only hire the very best customer service team located right here in the great U.S. of A. Most families are saving almost $1,000 a year while enjoying the most dependable 5G network in America. Remember, you vote with how you spend your money, so stop supporting woke wireless companies that don't support you. When you go to puretalk.com/Knowles, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month because they value you. puretalk.com/Knowles, Pure Talk wireless for Americans by Americans. Right now, go to grillblazer.com/Knowles. Thanks to our friends at Grill Blazer, instant barbecue perfection is at the touch of your fingertips. Grill Blazer's grill guns are designed to do everything from expertly searing your meats to lighting charcoal grills, wood stoves, outdoor fireplaces, and just about anything you can think of where you would need high-power fire to solve your problem. I may or may not have sparked up a stogie with a Grill Blazer gun. You may have seen that. Grill Blazers offers two types of grill guns. The Grill Gun Basic is a high-power propane torch designed to light charcoal and wood grills and smokers. Burns up to 3,600 degrees. Its 30-inch flame is pretty much all you need a big bad torch to do. And then there's the Sous Vide gun. Shorter barrel, perfect for professional culinary kitchen uses, from gently caramelizing brulee or other sugars and fruits to rapidly searing steaks outside on the grill. Warning, the grill gun will result in extreme grill envy from your neighbors. Right now, go get the grill gun from Grill Blazers. Go to grillblazer.com/Knowles. Use promo code Knowles for 15% off your order. Grillblazer.com/Knowles. Promo code Knowles for 15% off your order. Greta Thunberg was just arrested in Sweden. She was arrested for protesting fossil fuels or something. And they arrested her. She's 20 years old now, by the way. They keep pretending she's like 12, but she's an adult now. And she was arrested and could be charged with a crime and could be sentenced to 6 months in prison, but she won't be. Even the media outlets who are reporting on this, who are liberal and very sympathetic to Greta, are saying she'll probably just get off with a fine, and some of her big liberal backers will pay off that fine, and it won't matter at all, and she'll just go back to getting arrested next time. That's because this protest, which presents itself as being opposed to the system, opposed to the established powers, it is actually part of the system. Protesting is part of the liberal ruling order. That's why the liberal ruling class encouraged the BLM riots a few years ago. The riots were not in opposition to any system, they were part of the system. And protests have been part of the system for at least 500 years. I guess about 500 years of modernity, and you see that especially kick up in something like the French Revolution, which puts modernity into overdrive and tears down the order. You see this in the Bolshevik Revolution. You see this increasingly. The protests that tear down the edifices of the old regime, of the old culture, of Christendom, of the West. They tear that down, but they tear it down not in spite of the liberal ruling class that currently runs our civilization, but with the encouragement of that ruling class, because that ruling class is a liberal ruling class that wants to tear down all the old stuff, that wants to tear down tradition, that wants to tear down the church, that wants to tear down the family, that wants to tear down the high art, that wants to tear down all the stuff that makes us as a society. This is also why it's mostly futile for conservatives to engage in the same kinds of protests and activism that the left has been engaging in for centuries. We occasionally try to do it, and it's usually half-hearted because it's just not really in the conservative sensibility to take to the streets and scream and yell and protest like we're Greta Thunberg or something like that. But also it's not going to work because the system will clamp down on us. Boy, what a great clip that was. Make sure that you subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. Ring that bell. See you next time.